Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Nona from thealliancelover.com. I have another theatrical romantic styling video for you today. We are looking at the style evolution of Margret from her sassy, spunky, and more simple costuming earlier on in her career to her very saucy, feline, and diva-esque image that she cultivated later on. Speaking of style evolution and change, yes, I did cut my hair on a whim. I just went for a layered angled bob with long curtain bangs that I just push to the front. At least today I push them to the front. So if you're interested, that's what I asked for. Before we get into the clothing, I just wanted to give you a side-by-side comparison of her younger self and her more mature self. Here you can see she has more of that bright, bubbly, kind of ingenue, innocent, but feisty essence to her. And here, when she's older, more matured, she looks more sensual, more sophisticated, more refined and elegant. And this change is highly reflected in her costuming. Earlier on in her career, her roles were very jazz hands. I think there's an SNL skit where one of the actresses plays Margret trying to throw away a piece of paper theatrically. It's based off of her performance in Viva Las Vegas opposite Elvis Presley. And here, let's talk first about how she's honoring her yin dominant frame or image, and then we'll talk about why these simpler, less ornate cuts are so vital to her look at the time. So you'll notice earlier on in her career, she always has beautifully sculpted, curled hair. It's parted to the side, it's always extremely glossy, and it just falls in these perfect, cascading, brushed out, very, very highly defined, shiny curls. And this really brings attention to her eyes, and that is the other very iconic aspect of her look. Her eyebrows are very well defined. They're quite dark relative to her later looks, and she always has on a very luscious set of lashes on the top lash and a very defined black eyeliner on the top eyelid. And this really helps to bring out her facial expressions. She makes so many facial expressions in very quick succession. So this really helps support the kind of bubbly, almost frenetic energy behind a lot of her scenes. So Anne did a lot of wonderful dancing, and if you were to try to dress her in very ornate, lacy, mesh, intricate clothing, it would really weigh her down, especially as she's moving, and her dance movements were more jazzy than, say, very sultry, so a very sexy costume wouldn't fit her scenes. So in terms of actual details, you'll see more solid spans of fabric and non-dramatic cuts, so no angular necklines, nothing too, accessorized, nothing with a lot of ornate or lavish trim. It's very cute, it's very perky. Her curves are enhanced in terms of them being exposed by wearing skin tight clothing, very tight clothing, but there isn't that kind of lingerie like approach or that kind of corseted approach that she uses heavily later on. Here are a few photos of her in kind of mod style with the vibrant colors, the bright, funky prints that she mixes and matches. It's a very perky way of dressing, very animated. And I think it suits her at the time, especially with her styling. In this case, I think you're seeing more of her face and her persona rather than her body. So I think later on she dresses in a way to really embrace and celebrate her full body image. But earlier on, she is really emphasizing her facial expression, her dance moves, and her energy rather than her curves. So here are some cute outfits that honor her body while still honoring her bubbly, playful persona. So if you're interested in kind of adopting that into your wardrobe, here are a few tips. You can go for body skimming cuts, and you can use supportive stitching or tailoring like darts, or making sure that your trousers or your pants are hemmed perfectly so that you get a more clean and elongated look rather than a baggy, oversized look to really enhance the figure. You can also wear a lot of body skimming, very tight clothing in bright colors so that it doesn't weigh you down. You can have that, clinginess without the darker, more sensual undertones of black colors, burgundies, deep purples. If you keep it bright, it just takes on a different vibe. You can also just add in a little bit of flounce with cute sleeves or an ornate pattern up top. But if you keep the color palette quite vibrant and lively, it will still look more perky than super lavish. And here, if you want a playful but slightly more sensual look, you can really emphasize your legs by wearing a short sweater dress, and it doesn't even have to be tight. It can be loose like what she has here, with very leg enhancing shoes like high heels with a point or fun boots. I love how she wears different patterns on her boots here. It really emphasizes the legs. And to create a full body look, putting a hat on top just elongates the whole image, and it just completes the outfit. All right, so in this side, we're starting to see more of that mature style with more ornateness, more lingerie inspired detailing, more shimmer, more sparkle, more body bearing or body emphasizing outfits. Like here we have a bit more shimmer and the tassel with the darker, tighter trousers. Here the intricate stockings and the darker bodysuit. Here again the pointed heels, the stockings, and this more intricate, smaller pattern with this kind of mesh material up top. And here is literal lingerie. I know these are black and white photos, but you can still, deduce the kind of coloring of the original image, just a lot more darkness. She's taking on a different color palette. It's not as bright, it's not as lively. Just remember that color is very, very impactful. Now we're starting to see a different style of makeup. We're seeing a more smoky eye. We're not seeing that very sharp, very bold kind of cat eye with the liquid liner. We're seeing more of a smoked out look, especially here where she creates a very exaggerated upper eyelid with eyeshadow, and the eyebrows are more softened, more gently curved, and the hair is more teased teasing it gives more volume and separation, and with that separation you can see a few more layers, so it looks a bit more sensual, like bedhead, or it just makes you think of running your hands through her hair. All right, now we're seeing full body embracement. Embracement, is that a word? I don't know. We're seeing her embrace her full body, all of her curves. She's just really projecting that sensual, powerful diva image. We have this full-on like showgirl costume with the very ornate trim, the very dramatic neckline, and this gorgeous boa robe with the mesh and the ornate applique in the back there. Here we're seeing this kind of animal print, ornate print, silky top with a tousled like bedhead hair, the smoky eye, and the emphasized legs with the dark stockings and the knee-high boots. And here we have this super fun, glamorous, sassy, bell-bottom, sparkly, sequined bodysuit and the amazing hair. Here are some color photos. She looks amazing in these rhinestones. She has that dripping and diamond kind of look. I think she also looks more elegant, more refined here as she ages. These looks can look very over-exaggerated or campy on other types, but on her it looks just right, just enough. It looks like a second skin almost. Yes, a very exaggerated second skin, but it doesn't look separate, and I still see the woman behind all of these sparkly, shimmery details. Here is just some black and white. You can see she's really playing with her hair, and her shorter hair really shows off her neck, and it emphasizes the lovely curve of her shoulder and of her chest. And again, her makeup is a lot more sultry, it's a lot more smoky, and with age, you can see refinement in her face and her features. There's less of that round flesh, and you can see more of her hollowed out cheekbones. Her nose looks a bit more chiseled out, and her look is overall a bit more mysterious. And lastly, here's what happens when you kind of crystallize into that very feline character and you wear something very like bubbly or girlish. The feline, mature kind of elegance takes over. You can't mask it. You can't really morph it or mold it into something more, bubbly and spunky and youthful. So, take into account your own dominant look. How far can you play with it before the contrast just takes over and you're going to just see separation between the woman and the actual costuming or the outfit or the hair or the look. So that was my video today on Margret. I know I didn't talk too much about the little details of style. I really wanted this video to emphasize the theme of change and really embracing your current persona, what's appropriate to your current situation, what you want out of life, and also being cognizant of potential changes, potential shifts, and welcoming that and welcoming the aging process, not trying to stay the same forever. And I hope that alleviates any stress. I know a lot of people can get very caught up in finding their kind of forever wardrobe. And as nice as that sounds, I don't think that exists. Change is inevitable. So, embrace your body now, embrace the wardrobe that fits you now, and just let go of the expectation that it's going to suit you for the rest of your life. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.